The world tells you to run to compete to prove your worth. But in the stillness of your soul, there is a whisper from heaven. I have chosen a door just for you. Not a door of pressure or comparison, but a door that leads to peace and a purpose predestined for you. Can you hear that gentle call beckoning you to step forward? You're sitting on the porch, a cooling coffee in hand, reflecting on the years gone by. There were days you ran with all your might trying to open doors not meant for you, a job that didn't fit a hurtful relationship, or a dream you thought would define you. You knocked until your hands ached only to find an empty room on the other side. I know that feeling. We've all been there, standing in the hallway of waiting, wondering if we've been left behind. At this age, with silver in your hair and wrinkles telling tales of silent battles, you might think time has passed, that the best doors are closed. But let me tell you a truth. Like an old friend sharing by the fireside, God has never forgotten you. Your door is still waiting, and it's unlike any other. This door isn't one you must fight for in a crowd or earn by pleasing others. It doesn't demand you be younger, richer, or more perfect. It was crafted before you took your first breath, carved by the hands of the Creator who sees you not just as a person, but as a masterpiece. Have you had moments in life when you felt something greater than yourself guiding you? Perhaps an unexpected decision that brought peace, a meeting that changed your path, or a quiet dream in your heart you haven't dared to voice. That's God, the ever-present companion, gently pointing you toward your door. In America, we live in a world that glorifies speed. We're taught that success must come quickly, that your worth lies in what you achieve before the sun sets. But I've seen friends, neighbors, and loved ones run themselves ragged only to stand before doors that wouldn't open. They traded health for titles, sleep for anxious nights, and joy for endless comparisons. Are you tired of that? I know I was. But here's what God wants you to hear, like a whisper in the evening breeze. You don't have to run anymore. Your door isn't at the end of a race. It's been placed on your path, and it will open when you're ready. Abraham Lincoln, who failed in business, lost multiple elections, and faced depression before becoming one of America's greatest presidents, found his door at 50 when many thought his chances were gone. Corrie ten Boom, surviving a concentration camp in her middle years, began inspiring millions after 50. These stories aren't accidents. They're proof that God doesn't work on our clocks. He works by purpose. And your purpose, whether you see it clearly or not, is still waiting for you. Your door may not sparkle like the glamorous dreams on TV. It may not open to a cheering crowd. But it will bring something money or fame can never buy, the peace of knowing you're on the right path. It might lead to healing a faded relationship, rediscovering a forgotten talent, or simply finding joy in quiet mornings with family. Whatever it is, it's yours, designed to fit your soul, covered in God's grace. Let go of the burdens the world places on your shoulders. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. God has seen you, known you, and prepared a place for you. He's right here like a silent companion, holding your hand through every step. Don't fear that you're too late. Don't think you've missed your chance. Your door still stands patient and certain, waiting for you to find the courage to step forward. And when you do, you'll feel this truth deep within: you were never forgotten. You are loved, chosen, and guided toward a purpose only you can fulfill. Waiting can feel like sitting in a doctor's office, flipping through old magazines, listening to the clock tick, wondering if your name will be called. Not just in a clinic, but in the seasons of life when you're waiting for an answer, an opportunity, or a sign you're on the right path. At this age, when the kids have left home and 12-hour workdays are no longer a badge of pride, waiting can feel like a burden. But if I could sit with you over a hot cup of tea, I'd tell you that waiting isn't abandonment. It's a gift God uses to prepare you for the door He's chosen. Susan, a neighbor in Ohio, felt this. At 55, she retired from an office job after 3 decades. She thought life would be full of travel and leisurely mornings, but instead she felt lost. The house was empty, her kids had their own families, and Susan wondered if her best years were gone. She started volunteering at a community center just to pass the time. But one day she met a group of kids who needed a writing mentor. Susan, who'd kept a journal since childhood, began teaching them how to tell stories. Those classes became her greatest joy, and now at 60, she's writing a children's book, something she never dreamed of before. Those years of waiting, those aimless days, were the time God was shaping Susan, leading her to a new purpose. Tom in suburban Atlanta had a similar story. At 58, he lost his job in a layoff. He spent months sending resumes, facing rejection letters, and wondering if he still had value. But in those long days, Tom started fixing things around the house to ease stress. He helped a neighbor repair a fence, then another asked him to build a bookshelf. Soon, Tom became the neighborhood's beloved handyman. Now he has a small workshop working for joy more than money, and he says he's never felt such peace. Those painful months of waiting helped Tom discover a path he'd never have chosen himself. Susan and Tom's stories show that God doesn't work on our schedules. In America, we're used to wanting everything instantly coffee brewed in 2 minutes, news updated by the second. But God, the silent companion, isn't bound by clocks. He sees beyond what we do, preparing not just the door, but you to walk through it. Waiting, though hard, is when He refines your soul, teaching you to stand firm when cold winds blow, helping you see that your worth isn't in what you achieve, but in who you become. When you face a too quiet house, a career that's faded, or a dream that seems lost, don't mistake silence for abandonment. That's when God is working like a potter, shaping every detail. Corrie ten Boom endured years in a concentration camp only to share her story with the world after 50. I lost my best friend at 57, thinking my heart wouldn't heal. But in those quiet days, I started writing letters to others who were grieving, and those letters became a comfort to dozens in my community. Waiting isn't punishment. It's a sanctuary where you learn to trust even when you can't see the light ahead. Your door still stands unmoved by time or circumstance. When it opens, you'll see that every moment of waiting was worth it because it led you to where you truly belong. God, who counts every hair on your head, is holding your hand through each day. He's never left, and He's leading you step by step to the door with your name on it. Waiting teaches us patience. But sometimes the harder lesson is letting go of doors not meant for us, like leaving behind a worn-out jacket you once loved. If we could sit together watching the sunset glimmer over the backyard, I'd say not every door is worth knocking on. The world out there pushes you to run faster, do more, become someone greater. It tells you to compare yourself to the neighbor with a bigger house, the colleague who climbs the ladder quicker, or the perfect lives on social media. But God, the silent companion, whispers a different truth. Your door isn't in someone else's race. It's yours alone, designed to open to peace, not pressure. To get there, you must let go of the doors that were never yours. Linda, a woman in my small town, was a sales manager for 30 years. At 60, she was still working 60-hour weeks, trying to keep up with younger colleagues, flaunting achievements on LinkedIn. She felt that if she didn't become a regional director, she'd failed. But every night she came home exhausted, too drained to talk with her husband or play with her grandkids. After a hospital stay from stress, Linda quit. She started gardening, a hobby from her youth she'd forgotten. Soon her garden became the pride of the neighborhood, and she began teaching local kids gardening classes. Linda says for the first time in years, she feels light, like she's found herself. Letting go of the director's door led her to a joy no title could bring. Ray in Michigan had a similar experience. He spent a decade trying to build a tech startup in his 50s, inspired by young millionaires on TV. Ray took loans, worked himself to exhaustion, always comparing himself to those more successful. But the company failed, and he fell into depression. In those dark days, Ray helped his son coach a Little League baseball team. He found he loved guiding the kids, and now at 62, Ray is a beloved volunteer coach in his community. He says those years of trying to be someone else blinded him to his true path. Letting go of a dream that wasn't his helped him find the door to real happiness. These stories show how the world can make you believe your value lies in what you achieve or what others think of you. In America, we're swept up in a hustle culture, working nonstop, chasing success, comparing ourselves to others. But God doesn't measure you by your bank account, your job title, or your social media likes. He looks at your heart, and He's placed a door before you not for competition, but for you to walk through with peace. That door doesn't ask you to be someone else. It's made for you to be yourself with all your scars, lessons, and dreams over the years. I used to envy a church friend at 58 who seemed to have it all: a thriving career, a perfect family, world travels. I wondered why my life wasn't like that. But trying to live like her made me miss precious moments in my own life, like evenings reading to my granddaughter or deep talks with a neighbor who needed comfort. When I stopped comparing, I saw my door more clearly: a simple life, but full of meaning and love. God doesn't want you weary from chasing what's not yours. He doesn't want you weighed down by comparison or pressure. Your door isn't where you prove your worth. It's already carved with your name, and it will open when you're ready to let go of what doesn't belong to you. Linda Ray and I found peace when we stopped chasing others' dreams. You don't need to be the best, richest, or youngest. You just need to be you, and God, who's guided you through every season, is showing you the door to true joy. Let go of the wrong doors, and your path will shine brighter than ever. Let go of the wrong doors, and your path will shine clearer, like dawn breaking through the mist. But even when the right door appears, the one God etched with your name before time began, there's a moment when your heart hesitates. Fear, doubt, or the shadow of past failures can make you pause. At this age, when the lines on your face tell stories of long days and restless nights, courage isn't the blaze of youth. It's the quiet, steady choice to step through the threshold, trusting that God, who's walked you through every season, is by your side, ready to lift you up. Mary, a woman in Texas, shared about the moment she stood before her door. At 63, after years as a homemaker raising 3 kids, Mary felt her life's work was done. But after her husband passed, she faced emptiness. At a church gathering, she was invited to join a support group for those who'd lost loved ones. Mary, who never thought she was strong enough to lead, initially refused. She feared she'd say the wrong thing, that her own grief would spill over. But a quiet voice in her soul urged her to try. Mary stepped through that door, began leading the group, and in those shared moments, she not only helped others heal, but found strength in herself. Now she says every smile from the group is proof she's on the right path. Mary's door didn't glitter with fame, but it brought a peace she'd never known. Courage to walk through your door isn't just spiritual. It's a psychological and emotional journey. Many of us, past half a century, carry life's scars: a rejection, a shattered dream, or a criticism etched into our minds. Those scars can make you think you're not good enough, that this door isn't really yours. Jim in Oregon retired from engineering at 59. He always wanted to play piano, but told himself he was too old, that musical talent was for the young. After hearing a song at church, he signed up for lessons with a local teacher. His stiff fingers struggled with the keys, and some days he wanted to quit. But Jim kept going, and at 65, he played his first song for his granddaughter's birthday. He says that moment, seeing her admiring eyes, was the first time he felt divine confirmation that this small door was his. The door God sets before you doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't require all the answers or a flawless resume. It just asks you to step forward with all you are, your joys, pains, and lessons of the years. In America, we often think everything must be grand to matter: a stellar career, a fat bank account, or a life the world admires. But God, who counts every tear you've shed, doesn't work by the world's measures. Your door might be a simple moment, like Mary finding purpose in helping others, or Jim bringing joy through music. It could be forgiving someone who hurt you, picking up a forgotten hobby, or listening to a neighbor who needs comfort. When you step through, you'll feel a deep peace, like a river finding its shore. Divine confirmation doesn't come with trumpets or spotlights. It comes in the stillness of your soul when you know you're on the right path. Ellen in Florida at 67 decided to learn Spanish to connect with immigrants in her community. She worried she wouldn't learn that her memory wasn't what it used to be. But every new word she learned, every conversation she started felt inexplicably right. Ellen says when she stands with those who need help, she feels God smiling as if he's saying, "This is your place." Ellen's door isn't known to the world, but it's everything to her, a place where fear fades and joy overflows. Moving from waiting, letting go of wrong doors to stepping through the right one is a journey of faith. God, who's led you through bright days and dark nights, didn't bring you to this threshold to turn back. He stands there like light through the door's crack, inviting you forward. Fear may whisper you'll fail, but faith answers that no failure is greater than not daring to walk. Your door isn't a challenge, it's a reward. When you place your hand on the handle, you'll feel the strength of the years behind you, the silent prayers and the love of God who prepared this path before you were born. Step forward, not with pride, but with trust. The door is waiting, and it will open to a place you truly belong. Stepping through the right door, you'll feel a peace like coming home to your true place where every piece of your life falls into alignment. The journey here through days of waiting, moments of letting go, and acts of courage wasn't random. Every step, whether slow or challenging, was guided by God's hand, never losing sight of you. At this age, when days seem to pass faster and questions about life's meaning deepen, a truth shines like light at the end of the path. You are never forgotten. Your door, with all its beauty and purpose, still waits, and your destiny is as radiant as the day it was written in your soul. Harold, 68 in Minnesota, found this in his own way. After years in insurance, Harold retired feeling he'd left no lasting mark. He started spending time at a local library just to read and escape lonely days. One afternoon, he helped a teenager find materials for a history project. That brief talk led to regular mentoring sessions where Harold shared his knowledge of World War II from his younger years. Now he's a vital part of the community's education program, and the kids call him the storyteller. Harold says for the first time he feels he's living as his true self. His door wasn't in grand achievements, but in simple moments bringing light to others. Your purpose doesn't fade with time. God, who wove you with love and care, doesn't let any part of your story go to waste. Every pain, joy, and deferred dream is a thread in your destiny's tapestry. In America, we're often caught up thinking, purpose must be monumental, a world-changing career, a legacy carved in stone. But God sees deeper. He finds beauty in small acts. A smile you give a stranger, a letter you write to comfort the grieving, or an afternoon spent listening to someone's story. These in his eyes are monumental because they're what you were born to do. Waiting taught you patience. Letting go freed you from unneeded burdens. And courage brought you to the threshold. Now standing before your door, there's a profound strength in knowing it's not the end, but the start of a new chapter. Clara, 70 in Colorado, began painting after her son urged her to try an art class. Clara, who'd never held a brush, thought it was a silly idea. But her first strokes, though clumsy, brought a joy she'd never known. Now her paintings hang in a local gallery, and Clara says each one is a prayer, a way to feel God's presence. Clara's door opened late, but it led to a place where her soul was free. Your destiny isn't limited by age, circumstance, or what the world says is possible. God, who parted seas and brought light from darkness, isn't bound by those limits. He's placed this door before you, not to test you, but to invite you into a fuller life. When you step through, you'll see that every moment of waiting, every stumble, every tear had meaning. They shaped you not to be perfect, but to be ready to live with joy, purpose, and the assurance that you are who God chose. Your journey is a testament to God's unchanging love. He counts every step you take, hears every whispered prayer, holds every dream in your heart. Your door isn't just a passage, It's a promise that you're loved, guided, and reserved a place in His grand plan. Wherever you are in a quiet home, a familiar job, or a season of change, know that God is near like a warm fire in winter, leading you to where you belong. Step through that door not with hesitation, but with faith that your destiny, whether simple or radiant, is a gift only you can unwrap. And when you do, all of heaven will sing, "Welcome home."